Shakina Rajendram and Kevin Nataraja were, in total shock, after Shakina went into preterm labor at just 21 weeks in March last year, and doctors said there was nothing that could be done to save their twin babies. The Toronto area couple was recovering after losing another pregnancy when faced with devastating news about rainbow twins Adaya and Adriel. Because babies were just 21 weeks, over 4 months premature, doctors at their local hospital could only offer comfortable care and let them pass naturally. We felt it wasn't going to happen, Kevin said. As the news seemed unbearable, the two immediately began to pray for a miracle. Tika's father goes viral for singing worship song "To Premater Son in NICU," evidence that God is faith. "I was talking to God overnight and I was saying to him, we need a sign of hope that everything will be okay," Kevin recalls. Later, a friend posted a social media post from 22 Matters, an advocacy group for parents of premature children. Seeing that shipments of children born at 21 and 22 weeks were increasing, the couple convinced their doctors allow the babies to be transferred to a hospital that would treat them if they were born at 22 weeks a few days later. Shakina recalled the anxious waiting period leading up to their birth. "We knew it would be a matter of life and if they were born just a few minutes early," he said. According to 22 Matters, only one of the equipped hospital in the US will treat a patient at 22 weeks and only 1 in 3 will treat a patient at 23 weeks. This is also true for Canada, Australia, and the UK. While in labor, Shakina was transferred admitted a day later, 21 weeks and 6 days later, to Mount Sinai Hospital, about an hour-and-a-half drive away. Miraculously, the twins were born just 1 hour after entering the 22nd week of pregnancy. Both Adaya and Adriel weighed less than a pound each and were successfully brought back to life. Along the way, the children had various complications from cerebral hemorrhage, intestinal perforation, and premature lung disease. Several near experiences frightened Shakina and Kevin and made their twins' medical team uneasy. Nick Jonas's wife, Priyanka Chopra, tell US about his daughter's time in NICU. "We had a lot of difficult meetings with doctors. Doctors would come to us and say, maybe it's time to withdraw medical care," Shakina said. Despite initially stern eyes of doctors, parents saw how strong their baby was and fought for them every step of way. "But we saw what doctors could not see, that was the fighting spirit of our babies. We saw that babies have the will to live. Despite all these hardships, they never gave up. They were pushing forward," Shakina said. This reassured us that we as parents should fight for them, also. "Even when the odds were against us, it sometimes felt like we were the only ones advocating for life-sustaining measures to be given to babies." The two emphasized how their trust in God anchored them during the difficult time. Micropremi, born on the side of liability, in Texas, celebrates first birthday. Pretty survivor, they were encouraged by friends who held prayer meetings over Zoom and people around the world praying for their babies. "We had a group that kept expanding," Shakina said. "So whenever we got some difficult news or saw that babies were dying before our eyes, we would send a very quick message, please pray. We didn't even have time to go into details. And people would immediately start praying. We would see amazing things happen while we were doing it," he recalls. The mother recalled an incident when her daughter Adaya's breathing tube was disconnected, and they panicked as her oxygen and heart rate dropped to near zero as the paramedics walked in. "As soon as we told people to please pray, we miraculously saw their numbers go up again, and just in time, doctors and respiratory therapists were able to get it back," he recalls. The medical care team played an really important role, but they weren't only ones keeping the babies alive, said mother. Activists in Life program blessed the hairless attack performed by police by protectors at VCU event. "Ultimately," said Kevin, "they believe that God is in control of babies' lives and will sustain them. It gave us faith and hope to keep going even when we saw really difficult and scary things," Shakina added. As babies grow stronger, parents said the healthcare team's outlook becomes more hopeful. After 6 months in the neonatal intensive care unit, the twins were finally able to return home. Parents say the two are thriving and meeting milestones, despite some frightening infections that require additional hospitalization. Shekinah said with a smile, Adaya came home, breathed and ate by herself, rolling over, learning to sit independently. She's very touchy. She likes to chat all day long, and she's also very loving, kind to her twin sister. Parents said that Adriel is a tougher road than his twin brother but has made great progress. After a temporary course with some breathing assistance, Adriel has been completely oxygen-free for the past month. Parents described him as intelligent, introverted, and observant. Guinness World Records says Adaya and Adriel currently hold the world record for the earliest and lightest twins born. The brothers celebrated their first birthday last month. Parents hope their stories will make an impact on medical professionals' perspective on the viability of severely premature babies. Shekinah said that while many hospitals don't treat babies born between 24 weeks and 27 weeks, medical advances have made stories like theirs possible for other children born very prematurely. The fact that babies born in this pregnancy have a statistically high risk of disease is undeniable, Kevin admitted. However, they argued that talk in medical community about viability of premature babies should take into account various factors that can affect a baby's survival. The CDC said that 1 in 10 children in the US was born prematurely or before 37 weeks of pregnancy 2021. A recent study found that there has been a significant increase in survival rates over the past decade for children born between 22 and 23 weeks. Could there be more that could be done in terms of policy, management, care for parents, conversations with parents in a more balanced approach, just against the risk of disability? Critics who argue that these babies should not be saved as they may have a difficult life do not think that with the appropriate support and therapy, these children will be able to thrive, even if they eventually become disabled, Shekinah said. Risks are only half story. We want to shed light the whole story so that people focus not just on risk, but also potential of babies developing at that age, he said.